It's as American as apple pie, celebrating the 4th of July. It really is. In fact, John Adams demanded it. He said, quote, "It ought to be commemorated as the day of deliverance by solemn acts of devotion to God Almighty. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shows, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of the continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore. But some military celebrations have been sequestered." What does that mean? Todd Starnes, my favorite columnist in America from Fox News Radio, is fired up about this. Todd, no fireworks for the military?
Yeah, that's right. If you're going to be at Fort Bragg or Camp Lejeune, or you're going to be at Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina, you're going to hear crickets chirping tonight. No rockets, red glare, no bombs bursting in air. And, Peter, they're blaming it on this sequester that the Obama administration let happen.
So what does that mean? They're saying that military, our armed services, their families who give so much, who sacrifice so much, they shouldn't have the capacity to walk out at 9 or 10 tonight and look up at the representation of our independence, of our freedom, of what they sacrificed for?
No, well, you're absolutely right. For example, at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, a long-time tradition has been their 4th of July celebration with the fireworks, and the entire community comes out to celebrate. They bring in their picnic baskets. They have great patriotic music, but not this year. And again, it's because of this sequester. The military says they have to cut back. The average fireworks display at the military costs around $25,000 to shoot off bottle rockets and cherry bombs.
Now, you've talked about this before, about some of the inconsistencies.
Yeah.
So it's something you've called a $100 million African vacation for the president.
That's right.
But at the same time, something as simple and really relatively inexpensive as a fireworks display at Camp Lejeune to celebrate our Marine sacrifice can't be done. And so I think Americans are going to be outraged by this.
Well, Peter, I did the math. I wasn't very good at mathematics, but I got out my calculator on my iPhone, and you're right, it cost $100 million to send the president and his family over to Africa. If you break that down, you could provide fireworks for 111 of the major military bases in the country, $2.7 million, and still have enough cash left over to buy everybody else in the country a package of sparklers.
Now, you're in close touch with our armed forces, with our soldiers and sailors and seamen and airmen. They write to you, they call you, they hear you on the radio. What are they saying about this?
Well, they're very disappointed, and many of them, their families are disappointed. One of the soldiers said, his little boy said, "Daddy, it's like the Grinch who stole Christmas." Because, I mean, look, it's the 4th of July. You got to have fireworks. You got to have barbecue. You got to have great patriotic music. And in this particular administration, they're saying, you know what? The military, they're expendable when it comes to celebrating the freedoms that they're putting their lives on the line to fight for.
Todd, you're in touch with Americans every day. What's your message as we get out of this segment to Americans today about the importance of this day?
What an amazing holiday, Peter. The very fact that you and I are sitting here having this conversation is because of our Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and because of the men and women who are putting their lives on the line so that we can sit here and have this conversation. I love this holiday. We live on the greatest country on the face of the earth.
Todd, thanks for doing what you're doing and taking heat for doing it when you're doing it. We're standing with you, and you're standing for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to see you. Gretchen, Clayton.